Good afternoon. Welcome to our Midday Mull for the 30th of June. Amazing, we've reached halfway through the year and how COVID has messed that up. Quite incredible. I've been reading through Matthew's Gospel, and we get to Matthew chapter 10, where Jesus sends out the 12, and we get the list of these are the names of the 12 apostles, and it lists them. And then in verse 5, these 12 Jesus sent out with the following instructions. Do not go among the Gentiles or enter any town of the Samaritans. Go rather to the lost sheep of Israel. As you go, preach this message. The kingdom of heaven is near. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those who have leprosy, drive out demons. Freely you've received, freely give. Do not take any gold or silver or copper in your belts. Take no bag for the journey or extra tunic or sandals or a staff, for the worker is worth his keep. And so Jesus continues to send them out. And there's a lot of richness in there, just the notion, freely you've received, freely give. That's always a challenge to us, to trust God. Don't worry about taking any extra money, etc. with you. But for me, the encouraging thing is that he sends out these 12 people. This is before Peter has tried walking on water and sinks because he takes his eyes off Jesus. This is before Peter has tried to stop Jesus from going to Jerusalem. This is before James and John try and become Jesus' right and left-hand men in the kingdom. And we see the disciples getting things wrong time and time and time again. And yet these are the people Jesus sends out. And we so often in contemporary world strive for perfection and think you've got to have it perfect, you've got to get it completely right before you go out and do something. And if we're looking for perfection in terms of God's kingdom, it's a fool's game, because there's been one perfect individual, and that is Christ. No one's going to get it right. We're all going to get it wrong in various ways at various times, and yet God still uses us. And for me, that is always a great encouragement. He sends us out and we think, oh, but God, I can't do this, and I don't know how about doing that, and what happens if I get this wrong? And in a sense, God just says, go and get it wrong. That really doesn't matter. Just go and do it. And so as we try and share the gospel, and particularly in this new age where you can't go out and you're doing things online, and we're trying to say, how do we spread the good news? The injunction to each of us is, take the good news with us. Share it. We might not get it completely right. We might not get it perfect. There'll be all sorts of issues, absolutely. But that's the kind of people that Jesus used when he sent out the 12. When Jesus had them there, and he had Andrew and John and Bartholomew and Matthew, they weren't the saints we have today. They were just ordinary people who were following Jesus. Ordinary people like you and I following Jesus. And so take courage from that. Be challenged by it and step out. Share the gospel whenever you can, that we can make a difference in this world. We won't get it right. It's up to God to do that. We just have to do our bit. So be encouraged as you do this. Be blessed.